Greetings and welcome, everybody, to the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. Sitting across from me, the next entrance in the SmackDown Championship, good old JB.
Then sitting to my left, the man who moments ago tweeted an open challenge to John Cena, Mr. Fluffy.
And sitting across from me, the last BWO fan on earth, Irish.
BWO.
The Blue World Order.
Yes.
For life.
For a minute. We've got a great show. We are talking about fantasy factions. We're going to pick, we're going to predict. I've had a couple beers already. We are going to choose our fantasy faction from the past, our current fantasy faction. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create the ultimate history, new, looking ahead fantasy faction. We're going to do that. We have a very fascinating beer.
I'm so confused right now.
Fascinating beer.
Much like the beer, we're all confused right now.
That we're going to describe and get into when we come right back.
Awesome! This is the Beers and Bodyslams podcast. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. With your host, Mr. Fluffy. Hello, ladies. Good old JB. Booty-O's! They make sure you ain't booty. And the Irish O'Leary. There's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for you. A-A-W-S-T. This is the only podcast bringing you craft beer and pro wrestling that really matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, E-Generation X proudly brings to you its WWF Tag Team Champion of the World, the Road Dogg Jesse J, the Badass Billy Gunn, the new.
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Fluffy, what is this monstrosity that we're drinking?
We are drinking from a new company for us, the Beer Link Brewing
Castrol
Company.
Motor Company. Oh, sorry.
From Plainfield, Indiana.
Oh.
Indiana.
It's a Hoosier beer.
Oh, I'm so disappointed. Being a fellow Hoosier, I'm disappointed.
Alexa, who's your beer?
All right. This is the Nuttercup Chocolate Peanut Butter Porter. Okay, before we start, number one, the beer is interesting. It does everything it says it do. There's definitely chocolate. There's definitely peanut butter. And there's a stout there too.
And there's definitely a cup.
Oof. I love the can because it's, number one, it's a peanut being ripped in half. And then on it is like a label that says, peanuts died to make this beer awesome.
Killing peanuts since 2006.
Yeah. It's it, like I said, it does what it advertises. It's chocolate, it's peanut butter, but it's got an aftertaste.
Yeah,
Oh,
I love the flavor of the peanut butter. You can, like, it really is pronounced. But like you said, the aftertaste is really strong.
Like where the chocolate should be is there lightly, and then all of a sudden it's all bitter.
It's really strong aftertaste.
Yes, sorry. This is my beer week, and I tried to get some. Hey, 1 out of 2.
No, you
This isn't horrible, actually.
No.
And as it warms up, it'll get better. But man, I mean, this is the beer that you order your friend accidentally. They're like, I'm not really sure I like beer. Oh, you'll like this one. This will be great.
Oh.
Chocolate and peanut butter. And then after it gets done smacking you around like Braun Strowman, she'll be like, this beer sucks. I'll never drink a beer again. This is why I like wine coolers and Zima.
No, I'm not saying it sucks. I mean, I enjoy it. I'm going to drink it. I'm not hating it, but
Yeah,
it's just,
not bad.
I wasn't prepared for it. I think that's the problem is
He wasn't ready.
I think if I had a second one a couple days from now, I'd be in the right mindset for it. It would be fine. I wasn't prepared for how bitter it is and how much of a bite it has. I was really expecting a sweet finish.
Yeah,
Not a kick in the balls.
and they advertise it as a sweet finish.
Yeah, they lie.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
I get a sweet beginning. Like it's got a sweet beginning. It's got, but then it very quickly
I've had sours that don't give that big of a bite in the aftertaste. Like, it's just really.
I've had ex-girlfriends and they have that bad of an aftertaste.
But
bite.
I like it though. I'm going to be.
I love the peanut butter flavor.
Yeah.
I hate the finish.
Now the thing is, once the aftertaste is gone, if you sit for a moment, all you taste is peanut butter.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
once the aftertaste fades, when you're like we're talking right now, it's all I taste is peanut butter in my mouth.
Wait till you burp. Because one came back up, I was like, oh God.
Is it like pizza
You get
covered?
to relive the experience all over again.
Hey, this has nothing to do with wrestling, but it's really kind of funny. So on this past week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., one of the guys who was he's from the future, he's never had real beer, but he basically designed an augmented reality bar. He orders a beer. He finally orders a beer. And he's never tasted real beer. So he takes a shot of it and is like, spits out. He's like, oh, this is awful. Give me something that looks like beer, but it doesn't taste anything like beer. Hands him a Zima. Zima loves it. And I fell out on the floor. My wife's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, oh, be quiet.
I could say up until 3 years ago, I probably hadn't had a real beer either. But,
probably.
We all start somewhere. I always say this. I've been doing this for about 5 years, and we all started, different
places.
We all jokingly on the last podcast talked about, Blue Moon and stuff like that. I admit there was a point where I was drinking Sam Adams and Blue Moon, and
nothing wrong with that.
That kicked
by the way.
But that moved the door. And once I found that stuff and went, oh, this is really good. What else is out there?
Right.
Then I started buying these Sam Adams bulk packs and the where it's different flavors, and that's what started me down that path.
And I never would have imagined when I started the show that all this time later I'd actually be in a beer club.
Good for you.
Like I went from occasional Blue Moon and Heineken to now I'm drinking craft beers, ordering them through a beer club,
being snobby about it.
Yeah,
I mean that's
exactly.
the best way possible.
This is beer 156 for the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
At least the guy didn't put a grape Jolly Rancher in it. I was proud of him.
That's so wrong. All right, so we have a great show for you. I'm sure we'll talk more about the beer, and I'm sure that beer will talk more about us as we go along.
It's coming back to haunt all of us.
Oh, all right. So we're gonna have a fun show. This is a fun little topic. We talked last week about the rise of the multi-person match, and one of the solutions we came to those is to make them impactful. Is we need more factions. We need groups of 3, maybe 4, whatever you want, of guys grouping together, and that makes those matches interesting. These random assortment matches are just boring.
Right.
So that's where this kind of came in, and we've all created our own factions,
right?
From our own personal taste. So, who wants to throw your first one out there?
I'll start.
All right, go ahead,
buddy.
My favorite faction of all time is no secret. It's the Four Horsemen.
Woo!
So my thought process with this one was to take modern day WWE stars and try and recreate that iconic group.
Okay.
Now, obviously,
so a new version of the Horsemen.
That obviously could never be recreated, but in my mind, these would be the people that I would select.
Okay.
So my leader, I went back and forth on this one. And it was between Randy Orton and Seth Rollins.
Titus O'Neil.
He's third choice. And it came down to, at first I was leaning Randy Orton, but then I thought the leader has to have the charisma and the personality to pull it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orton never has
he
it.
would be I was basing it off his personality, but also off of his history with the Legacy group. It didn't really go over that well when he was the leader of a stable. So I went with Rollins as the leader. My muscle, quote unquote, enforcer role was Cesaro.
Nice.
I thought he would be a good Barry Windham, Lex Luger role. Arn Anderson.
I say Arn Anderson is more of a because you look at him and you don't look at Cesaro or even Arn and go, that guy could kick my ass. But then they could kick your ass. And I agree with Cesaro on that one.
Yeah, so I thought he would be my choice. And then I kind of needed a tag team because you always had Arn and Tully. So I went with Revival. as my tag team for that group.
Oh, it's a nice little group.
As a throwback.
I thought you were about to say Ryback. I was like, what?
No, the Revival.
Ryback and Heath Slater?
If you look at really Cesaro and the Revival, they're throwback wrestlers of that era.
Yeah.
So they would fit in perfectly with that style.
Yes, they would.
And Seth would be a great mouthpiece.
And they're damn near horsemen anyway, the way they act.
Yeah, seriously. So that was my four horsemen.
That's a good choice.
That's good. I like that one. I like that one. There definitely some interest in there. Would you give them a manager like a J.J. Dillon, or would you leave them just the four of them? Because I remember the Horsemen ran either way. You had times where it was J.J., you had times where it was just them.
For that group, I wouldn't, because Seth could hold his own.
Okay.
If Orton were the leader, then he probably would need a mouthpiece. If I would have gone that direction, I probably would have put a mouthpiece with him.
Okay.
But
just
no,
curious.
with this version, no.
All right.
Nice.
Irish, who's your first one?
So I'm going to go the classic route.
All right.
And I don't have a really good name for these guys. Basically, I just went with their champions, and one of the commonalities is they all wear robes.
Okay.
So that should, so we just went ahead and called them Golden Robes.
Golden Robes.
Yeah, we'll come up with a better name later. That WWE marketing machine will kick in. Obviously, Ric Flair.
Okay.
Got to have Tricky Rick. And you got to have Rick Rude.
Yes.
Ooh.
And then you got to have Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ooh.
And then my fourth guy, because I did 4-man team.
You can call them the R's.
Yeah, the R.
The R's.
Cream of the crop. Could call him Cream of the crop.
There you go.
That would work. And then I had a two-way tie. He's not really known for wearing robes, but he did for a long time was Dusty Rhodes. But I didn't go for Dusty Rhodes because I needed somebody that was really more that Arn Anderson.
Okay.
So I went with Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Oh, good robe too.
Great robes.
Yes, he did have a good robe.
That
would have been interesting to see that. If they all had a 8-man tag and they all came out with their robes on.
Blinded everybody.
Especially with like the legacy used to come out. They used to all stand in the thing and they used to have the lights coming down on them. I imagine that kind of lighting. And then they just all, they all start with their back to the crowd and it's like, dun, 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 and then every dun, dun, one of them turns around and dun, 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 and then, that kind of country kind of rock thing where they're all walking down with just like the ass kicking country.
So what is it? So it's Ric Flair, Rick
Rude, Macho Man, Greg the Hammer,
and Greg the Hammer.
So I could totally see like a Rick Rude Valentine tag team combination. Flair's the world title and Macho is IC. Oh my God, that would work. That would be a hell of a staple. The egos would tear it apart, but it'd be fun to watch it explode. Oh my God, to watch that explode.
What they could do for the first years, they just run roughshod over everybody. And then as the problems start increasing, one of them brings in kind of guy to bring everybody together. And then, of course, they would have to bring in I
just want to,
hang on with the tennis club.
Mr. Perfect?
No.
The Genius? Oh,
Cornette. Bring in Jim Cornette.
All I envision is that group. I could see it running for a while, but the destruction becomes when Macho Man becomes jealous of Flair and just starts going, "Ooh, brother, I want that." Like just the promo cut.
Yeah. Let me tell you something right now, Tricky Rick. When I get you alone, I am so sick of being your little shadow, being in the back. Just
oh
sure
my God.
You look good. Oh my God. But in reality, I'm always gonna be better than you.
And then throws a creamer at him.
You sullied my robe.
That man's promos were legendary.
Oh my God. Any man who can turn cream into something.
And a magic trick.
Again, if you've never seen, for our newer fans at wrestling, if you've never seen the Macho Man Cream of the Crop promo, watch it.
It's the best.
Watch it for 2. Now, watch it a couple times, but watch one time. Just watch Mean Gene the whole time as he's trying to figure out where Randy's pulling his creamers out of. Because literally, Randy's just pulling him out of thin air at one point. Yeah. He's like, Cream of the Crop, throws it, and then pulls another one out of somewhere. And at one point, you watch Gene's eyes going, where the hell is he getting these things?
So watch it a few times with the sound on, and then watch it a few more times.
All right. So my first group, my old school group, I call them the Asylum. And it's funny, we have some common people already, which I love. My leader of this group is Macho Man. Because he belongs in the Asylum.
Clearly.
Crazy. So, but if he's your leader and he's one level of crazy, I needed more crazy behind him for him to control and lead. So his compatriots are Sid Vicious and Cactus Jack.
Oh, wow.
No one's getting out of this one alive.
You have a fourth team member that you forgot.
There's nobody controlling them, by the way.
Roddy Piper.
Oh my God, Piper in that group. You basically, this is the group, this is what sanity is now, is they don't really care what happens. They just want to destroy things and just go out there and obliterate and make mayhem and destroy.
Good. That's good. That's a good group too. I like 3-man factions. I prefer 4-man.
I've always liked the 3-man.
I've always leaned towards 4 too.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just better when they have all the gold. They just piss everybody off.
No, you know.
All right. So what's your next one, Mr. JB?
So I wanted to recreate a modern version of DX. So that was probably my second favorite faction.
You've got to lightly touch me.
What?
Irish, he's talking to you, buddy.
We can't do it. You can't say "suck it" no more. You got to come up with new things.
Well, let's be clear. This is
took a drink of beer, and all of a sudden he's like, "You got to lightly touch me." I'm like, "I'm not touching nothing."
I respect you.
This isn't right to censor. Let's be clear.
Stop hitting the microphone. I've done it like 9 times.
Is that what you're saying? I was like wondering what you're talking about.
Go ahead.
So, oh boy, we're going downhill. So, when I picked this group, I'm thinking I need 4 people that could give me the antics. So, because that's basically all that you needed, and I'm not really taking their current characters and the way they're booked now I'm just going off of their personality and the potential that they could have. I didn't in no particular order. I had Dolph Ziggler.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure in Attitude Era he could have really ratcheted it up.
Yeah.
Oh, he would have been a god in Attitude Era.
And really pulled off some shenanigans. Kevin Owens, actually.
Oh my God, yes.
I had in the group. Sami Zayn now, after what I've seen out of him, he's showing a different side of his personality.
Right.
And then The Miz.
Okay.
Real world Miz.
Wow.
Fresh when he came in. I can imagine just the juvenile Miz and Ziggler, KO, just running around causing hell within their company.
I like it.
I think that'd have been a good group.
The only change I would make is I would take out The Miz, and honestly, I'd put in Rusev. Because the way he's running now, the goofy sort of the way he is, I think would be funny.
I'm just visioning The Miz going with Sergeant Slaughter with the little visors on his face.
Yeah.
With the wipers on. I can see The Miz like being really juvenile and doing stuff like that.
Don't hit my face.
Yeah, I haven't seen that from Rusev yet, but
yeah. That's good. That's a good group.
Oh, I like it. What do you got, Irish?
My next group is called the Rising Sun. Well, go figure.
It's Jim Morrison.
Yes. My group is going to be intergender.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to have Hideo Itami.
Okay.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Okay.
And Asuka.
You're a racist.
Not a racist. All the people you've chosen are Caucasians.
Why do they all gotta be together?
Why don't you suck it?
Why do they have to be the number 3? What are you doing?
And then they need a leader. They need a leader.
Is it Fuji?
oh my god.
They need a leader who could be a mouthpiece.
Oh, Mr. Fuji.
Samoa Joe.
Fuji. No, Fuji.
Samoa Joe.
Actually, Samoa Joe would be good.
Samoa Joe would be better, because of the Polynesian aspect of it.
Yeah.
And that group would be amazing because Samoa Joe's your heavyweight. Shinsuke and Hideo could be an amazing tag team, or, individual champion. Hideo needs the rub, and Asuka could just be the women's champion, just be amazing. She could just be Asuka. She could hold her own if she gets in with a guy. Not that they want to do a lot of intergender stuff, but it's a group of people that could take it to another level. That could be both heel and face.
Absolutely.
All right. I can see that. I can totally see that. That'd be good. Before I give my new school group, I do want to once again thank the Brewlink Brewing Company. I will say this is one of those weird beers that as you drink it and it warms up,
it gets better.
And as it coats your tongue, as in it overrides that bitterness section of your tongue, it's getting better. It's a lot like a sour in that way, in that the more you sip it, the more flavor you taste, the better it is. Those first few sips are brutal.
Gotta get used to
it's better not cold.
Yeah.
It's better at room temperature.
Yeah, it's warmed up. It's got a little bit. So thank you so much for your Nuttercup. All right. So apparently Irish and I are pretty much on the same page on some things.
Are you going to a racist group?
Yeah. Nope. All whiteys again. All
Damn,
whiteys.
I'm going to create a nation of damnation just for the hell of it on the fly. Here.
That's fine. I don't have a name for this group. We
Black Panther?
Yes. They are the white pussycats. I just wanted 3 people that I thought would come together, not because they wanted to, but because they needed to for a certain purpose and would click. So I have Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe, and Alexa Bliss. Champions, people that are driven to do things, but people that sometimes do need that backup at moments. And I think it's 2 guys and a girl that could use that kind of momentum to go out there. And just, the promos alone would be good because, Seth could run his mouth and Joe's just intimidating, runs his mouth. And then Alexa just sort of, runs people down. We've seen it, her running people down insanely. She's one of the best people on the mic right now.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the brutality of Joe, and like even a tag team match, you have the brutality of Joe with the finesse of Seth is a great combination.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but I just don't have a name for them. That's where the marketing people have to come in and come up with a name of some type to put them together because they love naming everything.
The art of war.
The art of war. That would be bad.
Go.
Yeah, I like that. The art of war would be
bad,
good.
actually.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
that's
man.
right. All right,
That's
JB,
right.
you got one more?
I do. I had an honorable mention group too.
Okay.
Hey.
Ooh, he's got 2 more. Woo.
Well, they're kind of similar. They're both like kind of DX themed, but I just kind of reversed it. It was I called them Rated X, but I put Edge in that group with Triple H and Shawn Michaels
Oh my God.
and Lita.
Oh my God.
So like, could you imagine how
That'd be awkward.
I would have loved to have been Vince Russo in that era with that group, just to basically let them go do whatever you.
So
wanted
you
to
have
do.
Lita and Edge having sex in the ring while Shawn and Triple H run around the ring outside going, suck it,
Yeah.
suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it.
Or you can have a 5-person team and have China be a part of it, and then the Edge and Lita and China and Triple H could be underneath the sheet.
No, you got it. No, you can't have 4 guys in the group. Sorry. Sorry, not going to work.
One of these things is not like
They probably
the other.
would have got fined if that group would have been put together.
Jesus, yeah.
Even in the Attitude Era, they would have been like, "Okay, this
God.
is too much."
I didn't get any sleep. I was up all night.
Yeah, exactly.
You think you know me.
Da-da-da-da.
Oh, you didn't know?
Oh, my
You didn't know me?
I was a big fan of Edge.
You
man.
think you know me?
Oh, I loved
At first,
Edge.
I wasn't. Like when Edge and Christian were a tag team, I liked
Yeah.
them, but he didn't grow on me till he became Rated R Superstar. That's when he kind of like shot to the moon.
Yeah.
His
as far
theme
as my-
song was awesome.
for his popularity. Yeah.
Again, a guy that went way too early because of injury.
Yeah,
Could you
oh,
imagine?
yeah.
I think he'd still be around.
yeah, he'd be doing
Because
something.
Yeah, he's just a good guy. I just like him. I like him. He guest stars on a lot of TV shows.
He was
now.
at the actual, was it Mania 6 with Hogan and Warrior?
Yeah.
He was in the crowd.
They showed
in
a picture of
Toronto.
him
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, he was him and Christian.
Yep.
Him and Christian were at the event.
So like it is amazing to like be in attendance as a fan, not knowing that you actually live your dream one day. You know what I mean? Like that story writes itself.
Yeah.
And they don't really. I mean, he's had his documentaries or documentaries, and he's never. They really don't talk about him enough. You know.
They don't. And I tell you, that's the one thing where, all sports have it. Like a lot of kids go to the NBA games and then they become NBA superstars. I just really see it more in wrestling where they like show the pictures of the kids there, like Bailey
oh yeah,
and
Yep.
And it's such, and what's weird is it's such a smaller sample size.
I guess I was done. All right.
No. I know what you're.
No, you were thinking.
You were thinking. I was helping you. I was thinking. I was fluffering where you were thinking.
Hello.
But I was saying. But it's interesting that you talk about that. Like the NBA is so big, and more players get in, but there's so few wrestlers.
Right.
It's interesting. There are more of those stories of the guy that was like, "Oh, I was a fan, and I became a wrestler."
Oh, whereas, Kevin Owens. That's it.
Yeah, it's insane. So, but yeah. So, all right, what do you got, Irish?
My last group is just called Top Guys.
Top Guys.
So it's got the Revival.
Okay.
And the Andersons.
Oh, why do you hate people?
Why do you hate people?
Why do you want everybody black and blue on the roster? So you have Ole, Arn, and the Revival.
Yep.
That's not funny.
That'd be amazing.
That's basically the makeup guy in the back going, how am I supposed to cover all the bruises? I can't cover all the bruises. See,
here's the thing. When you look at guys like Authors of Pain, that's two big dudes, and they've become, by the way, they become phenomenal wrestlers. They are monsters, but they can lose believably.
Yeah.
You know, so when you look at those guys, you've got two ginormous individuals. They're just formidable. And then you look at guys like Arn and Ole, they're just going to beat you to death.
Those are the type of guys you can beat the hell out of, and they're just going to keep coming at you.
Right. But the thing about the Revival is they're a nice mixture of beating people up and finesse. They can finesse their wrestling, and they've got more personality than the Andersons. Maybe not so much Arn. Arn's got a lot of personality.
He was one of the best talkers ever, yeah.
Ole doesn't have a lot of that. But I could see Ole and Arn being like the serious guys, and like the Revival guys being like the yucky
That's
yucks.
the team you want to take to War Games with you.
Yes.
Maybe that's exactly what the Revival need now. Like that's maybe what they need.
They need Lance Storm is what they need.
No, honestly, maybe they need an Arn. I mean, Arn works for the company. Maybe that's the key they need is somebody to grab them by the heads and go, look, I know what you're doing. I've done it before. Yeah, the Revival. I know what you do. You know what you're trying to do. I did it. And now I'm going to show you how to do it.
I would think that would be great.
Let they could have
let him be a mentor. He doesn't have to be a
backstage segments.
Yeah, he doesn't have to come out in the matches with them. He doesn't have to be ringside.
Oh, what about Bob Backlund?
I see a lot of potential in you guys.
Yeah, just a mentor of.
Yeah,
I see what you're doing. Me and my friend Tully used to do it all the time.
Yeah,
and I'm going to show you.
Just get him backstage and let him be like pissed and pissy. And just have Arn come in and throw them up against the wall and throw them both in a room.
Yeah.
And then say, look, let me tell you, you guys have all the potential in the world, but you guys are crazy stupid.
Yeah.
You know, you were top guys. We were top guys before you were even glinting your daddy's shorts.
Yeah.
You know,
I was a top guy for 20 years.
Yeah. And that'd be great. And it wouldn't necessarily have to be a TV thing, although I would love to see Arn Anderson back on TV for a little while.
It would give the credibility of seeing him talking to them.
Yeah.
So it would automatically boost.
Yeah. I don't want him a ringside. I don't want him out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Just like little back
show some every once in a while.
Or just walk out, even if he walks out on the ramp with them.
Right.
And like does like a huddle with them for a moment before they go, like their opponent's already in the ring and he huddles with them and goes, all right. And they go, okay. And then he walks back and they walk out.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
Like that would be great. And that would help build them up and build that idea of them being these retro old school throwbacks.
Yeah.
You know, and it's blatant. I mean, it's super duper easy to sit and go, well, I'll put those guys against these guys. But the thing is, it would be such a great, you know, if we were talking in the fantasy world, it would be great to see old school and new school guys just obliterate, you know, the roster.
Not even that. Just thinking, piggybacking off that, having the old school guys promote and lift up the new school guys just by having him associate with them. Have it. I mean, it
legitimizes them.
Yeah, have a backstage segment, you know, every once in a while where he's trying to, you know, give them motivation,
right? And
just having that interaction would help boost their credibility as well.
Those guys legit off topic. Those guys legit need something.
Yeah, I love
those
them.
Injuries. Have been really stalling
because they were going to get pushed to the moon when they came up.
Yeah,
and then just back to back.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they'll be starring in Fandango and.
They'll be in the Marine 10.
Yeah.
All right.
Marine 43.
So on to my last group. Call this one greed. Because each of them have a different desire and greed in them. It's Macho Man, or not Macho Man, Jesus Christ. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
I was about to say DiBiase's got to be the lead dog.
It's $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Charlotte Flair, and Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
All of them have greed in their hearts. $1 Million Man, money. Charlotte is, prestige, and Nash is just reputation and titles. And that kind of group. And what it does is, again, you're adding the woman to the men. You're adding different styles. Whereas DiBiase will slowly, methodically take you apart. And then Nash will just throw you through the ring. And I don't want Nash as in Diesel.
Yeah.
I want sort of
the outsiders /
NWO. So the ended when he was not in suits, but
trying
he was trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And it was that more of I'm here as I know I'm the best.
Yeah.
Right.
But they all have different motivations for greed, and it's that funness of it. And I think that would be a good little sort of cross-generational group.
That'd be interesting to kind of bridge the gaps there.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
And because Charlotte, as much as I love Charlotte, I think she's great at a face. She's got such huge heel potential in her.
But that's like, but to see at the same time, like we know what she can do as a heel.
Right.
And it's good that she's trying to challenge herself because it's hard to get people to like you.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, we know if she can pull that off and have a good face run. Now, granted, she's not being booked great in this run.
Yeah.
But if she can pull it off to where you can say she's just a great entertainer, performer.
Right.
She's not just a great heel or a great face.
Right.
That's going to be her challenge to define her legacy
Right.
is to be able to pull off being a face and have a sustained run.
Yeah.
And get,
I
mean, people like her because of her dad too.
Yeah.
She has her own fans, but she's getting a lot of woos because of Rick. You know what I mean?
Oh,
yeah. She's great. Now, don't get me wrong, but the personality, she doesn't have her dad's personality yet. She has his in-ring ability, but she doesn't have his personality.
She doesn't. What I feel like she doesn't
as
have
a face, it doesn't relate.
She doesn't have his emotional basis.
Yeah.
Perfect example, what happened this week on SmackDown. When she was doing the promo with Ruby Riott and Bobby Roode came out, she did the whole school go ha 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 ha. Whereas if she just went cool, she'd been fine too.
Right.
And that's the one thing that Rick was really good at is he had that emotional faceness to him that you knew what he was thinking.
I mean, he was very over the top.
Yeah.
And that doesn't seem like her personality.
No.
But that's going to be her challenge will be to figure out what her style is.
And I'll say this. Athletically, she's
unmatched.
Way better than her dad.
She's unmatched.
By far.
She can lean on that
unmatched.
more so than, Rick's personality. Rick had to be that because he couldn't keep up athletically in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after the accident. But the thing is, I mean, I think that she has potential to surpass her father in certain respects. She's never going to be a legitimate 17-time for multiple companies. She's never going to be that because that's not that day and age anymore.
No.
But she's got the potential to surpass what he did on her raw talent and ability. And the personality and stuff, I think, will come.
It will come as she gets more comfortable as a face. But like the thing that's most impressive to me about her is the fact that she didn't grow up wanting this.
Right.
You know what I mean? She didn't prepare and train her whole life to be a wrestler.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she's just one day he's like, I got to honor my brother and I'm going to try this. And she was just so naturally gifted that she surpassed, I think, pretty much all their expectations.
Right. Oh yeah, she's by far the great prodigy of the the Flair seed line.
Yeah.
But I think she kind of has fallen in love with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, I think she's enjoying herself. Yeah, but do you have one more?
I just had a quick one. I won't go into it, but I wanted to recreate the 4 horsewomen.
Okay.
So Charlotte Flair, obviously. I had Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
I had Nia Jax and Paige.
Ooh, I like that.
Would have been my new.
Assuming that Paige could wrestle.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
Just checking.
Even as a mouthpiece, she's going to be great.
Yeah.
If they use her right.
I think she's really good as a mouthpiece. This week she came out as a mouthpiece more than she had in the last couple of weeks, and she really showed potential.
They got to use her in some capacity on air as a mouthpiece.
Right.
She really has potential to be sort of a female Paul Heyman and really just run her mouth and do that. She's really good. What I like about her when she's a mouthpiece is she's really good at the oh, I feel sorry for you. Like that when she gets really low in her tone and does that really sarcastic roll in her mouth. It sounds so good. So
somebody body shamed her online, and I love her to death because she lets people have it. Yeah. She just is like unapologetic about her responses. I love that about her.
I would like to thank the Brewing Brewing Company out of Plainfield, Indiana, for killing peanuts so that this beer is awesome by making your Nuttercup.
We all finished it, though.
It got better as it went along.
It really did.
I must suggest if you find it, let it sit for a minute and then have like 3 or 4 sips kind of quickly. And then once you override that bitterness, it's really, really good. It's got great flavor in it.
Absolutely.
When you're ready to put your beer down.
Beer, you're so dumb. You thought there was only 3 people in the Four Horsemen.
Head over to vintagepressing.com, where you can get drink coasters, luggage tags, phone cases, and more.
And when you're out on the socials, make sure you go to facebook.com/beers and Bodyslams podcast. Check out all of our linky dinks over there and visit us on our website, Beers and Bodies. I'm drunk.
Are linky dinks like shrinky dinks?
Exactly.
Okay.
Beers and Bodyslams.com. You can check out all of our show archives and links to our amazing sponsors.
Follow us on the Untapped app. You can follow me at GoodOLJB as I try to slowly catch up to somebody that's not approaching 1,000 like Mr. Fluffy.
You can follow me as I put my 2 kidneys in my liver in a hell in a cell because only one can survive.
Wow. You can follow me as I treat my liver like the Revival treats their opponents at the Irish O'Leary.
Make sure you tune in on Thursday because we're going to talk about Fastlane that just happened. We're going to talk about the news of the wrestling world. And then make sure you tune in next Monday. We'll have a topic. We'll figure it out as we go because that's half the fun of the show.
Right. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. As always, make sure you keep your pint glasses full and your body slammed stiff.
You've been listening to the Beers and Body Slams podcast. Find us online at beersandbodyslams.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/Beers and Body Slams podcast. Until next time.
Have a nice day.